Look, I get it. You thought Etsy was going to put you on the fast track to more cash in your pocket. But with over 5 million sellers, standing out on Etsy can make you feel a bit like a needle in a haystack. Which is why a majority of Etsy sellers never make a single sale. So today, I'm sharing 3 reasons why Etsy sellers fail, so that you can pivot, adapt, and evolve your strategy in order to generate more success in your shop. For anyone who may be new here, my name is Starla Moore, founder of the Handmade Alpha Academy for Etsy sellers and manager at erank.com, Etsy's most popular SEO tool. And if you're an eRank user, you may be surprised to see an image like this one displayed at the top of your eRank screen, especially if you don't have many sales. The unfortunate reality is that most new Etsy sellers don't make a single sale before they throw in the towel and call it quits for their business. Yes, Etsy is a competitive marketplace. But even on a highly saturated platform like Etsy, new sellers rise to the top of their industries all the time. You just have to be strategic in your planning and ensure that you're creating products that actually hold demand in the market. And with that comes our first mistake: starting a shop without doing any market research first. Just because you can make something doesn't mean that customers want the thing that you're making. And I know that really stinks, especially when you put your heart and soul into a craft or art style. But the reality is, customers have to have an avenue to reach your products. The coolest items in the world may seem virtually invisible on Etsy if the road to that product is paved with keywords that no shoppers would think to search for. One of the most common questions I see from new sellers in my community is, when should I expect my first sale? Which is a completely nonsensical question when you really think about it. It's akin to, I ate a salad, when will I start losing weight? Or, I bought a race car, when will I win my first race? There are key details missing in all of these questions that make the questions impossible to answer. And assuming that there's a specific day when you'll make your first sale completely dismisses the human element from the equation, which is ultimately the number one thing that Etsy sellers forget. There's no magic algorithm that dishes out sales on a specific day. A real human has to want your product, and they have to want it more than they want any similar products listed alongside it, which is why target market research is essential. Are you trying to sell hats for pets? While that is a super cool niche, a quick search for pet hat in the eRank keyword tool tells us that not very many people are searching for this type of item. Are you trying to sell shirts that say mom on them? There's definitely more demand for mom shirts, but there's also over 1 million competitors. So finding a sweet spot is essential, or narrowing designs down a bit so that you're able to create a niche within a niche, like softball mom shirt, which has demand and a lower level of competition. Remember, no one is entitled to sales, no matter how much work you've put into your items. You have to create products that people want, and performing a bit of product research before developing your items is the best way to ensure that you're starting off on the right track. Typically, when you think of the word ecosystem, you think of something like this. But ecosystems aren't just reserved for nature. They can also be applied to online platforms too. You wouldn't compare the ecosystem of eBay the same as you'd compare the ecosystem of Amazon. Even for shoppers, they feel different, and there are different expectations that you have when it comes to price, quality, and even shipping times. And Etsy has its own unique ecosystem that can't truly be compared to anywhere else. It's like the ultimate soup, where every seller brings a new ingredient to the dish that helps to make up the overall flavor of the platform. So, as a seller on Etsy, understanding this ecosystem is extremely important, but often overlooked, especially when it comes to Etsy's algorithm. As a new seller, making swift changes when you don't see the quick success of a listing feels like the right thing to do. I mean, if something isn't selling right away, that clearly means that you've done something wrong, right? Wrong? Right? But on Etsy, the ecosystem works a bit differently. Etsy's algorithm takes time, not because it's slow, but because it's so advanced. When you list a product, Etsy tries to learn as much about that item as they can. They look at the keywords in your title and tags, they look at the context from your description, they look at similar items from your shop that have done well, and they look at how shoppers react to this listing when they discover it in search. At the same time, their algorithm is also analyzing shoppers. They look at what types of listings that you're searching for, what types of style that you're drawn to, what types of items you typically click on, and what you're buying. And with these two sets of data, they play a game of mystery date, where they try to match up product style and context with the exact type of buyer who is most likely to purchase this type of item. And this essentially means that Etsy helps to connect you with the exact type of shopper who is most likely to buy. And that's a great thing. It means that you're not competing with all of Etsy. You're competing in a niche, and Etsy is using context to match you with a customer search within that niche. With this in mind, sellers who change their keywords every day tend to not see results. Constant changes interrupt this process, making it harder for Etsy to decide who your product should be shown to. For a little extra help with Etsy SEO and keywords, be sure to click the link up here to grab my free Etsy SEO toolbox, which goes a little more in-depth into how Etsy's algorithm works. Your brand is the heart of your business. It's the epicenter of all that your business is, what it means, where it will go, and how big it will grow. And a brand isn't a logo, a font, a color, or a combination of colors. Your brand is every single association and emotion that a person ties to your business on a subconscious level. That includes your logo and visible branding, your product photo style, your online voice, your social media presence, the style of posts that you make on social, your public reviews, how you communicate with your customers, and the products that you make. So many sellers watch a few videos about how to maximize profits on Etsy, and then they race to make as many items as they can as fast as they can. But they neglect the most important part of building a business. They forget the heart, the brand, the message. Revolutionary brands all have one thing in common. They have a singular and clear goal or message. They are passionate about something. Apple isn't starting up fast food chains. You're probably not going to find the next new gaming console developed by Tiffany & Co. And Coca-Cola likely won't be investing in their own line of lawn equipment anytime soon. These companies are all passionate about one item, one goal, or one specific cohesive message. And while they all have their own diverse lines of products, those products all fit together within the overall brand and message that these companies have built. They are passionate about what they do. And passion shines through when it comes to any brand, no matter how big or small. Because let's face it, if you're just tossing things together and listing them online, as a shopper, why should I care? If you're not passionate about what you make, why should I be? Why should I buy from you? Why should I become a repeat buyer? And why should I remember your brand name? Give customers a reason to remember you by ensuring that everything you do connects back to one key theme, goal, message, or style that you can own. Not only will this help you to stand out, it also helps you to stay on track when developing new products so you aren't wasting your time. And if you want to dive even deeper into the topic of niches and brands, be sure to join me on September 14th for Amplified by Printify, a free virtual event where industry leaders like myself will be sharing success tips to help boost your growth in time for the busy holiday season. I'll personally be speaking about the importance of developing a defined and profitable niche, so be sure to register up here or through the link down below to save your seat. Overall, success on Etsy means both understanding the ecosystem of Etsy as well as understanding the heart of your brand's identity on the platform. And with a little science, a lot of data, and some help from a trusted Etsy expert, you'll be well on your way to Etsy success. Cue the funky amplified beat.